Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. It's our month and a half follow-up episode now. We've had about 8 weeks go by in the season. There's a lot to unpack, a pretty good amount to unpack. And we're going to be funny as hell tonight because there's been a lot of crude stuff we've watched since week one.
Oh, yes.
A lot. So, welcome to Opinionated Collective Sports Talk. This is the Week 9 follow-up with me and Justin. Yours truly, Benjamin, and Justin, who still
Hi.
hates Marshall University, the Thundering Turd.
That's an unnecessary comment.
Shh, who cares? You always say
That's
it in
what she
text messages.
said.
No, you do.
Sure.
You hate Marshall that much, and we're going to have you tell that story to the audience tonight about why you hate Marshall that much.
I'd rather not. But for those who were there, you understand why.
Yes. I wasn't there, but no matter how many times I hear that story, it just makes me crack up because it's like, yeah, I remember watching the movie We Are Marshall, and I'm like, God, this school's entitled. You had some good football players pass through in the 90s and then early 2000s, but then after that, yeah, not necessarily. Okay, so I think our first topic tonight, we're going to start with coaching buyouts. And
Oh, man.
this one,
This is hot.
this one, I could either say goes from 100% hot to not or cringe. Just depends on your definition of it because it gets funny to no end. I'm sorry, but let's start with college football's 10 costliest buyouts, 118 million shock. And
Ooh.
th- like him and I are like Justin and I will tell you, it gets abnormally funny. All right. Hold on. No. Okay, give me 1 second. Is it going to? Okay, here we go. I have screen shared. So we're going to start with the first one. Matt Rule, the head coach of Nebraska. We're going to start with the three most important ones that you all need to know. Yes, today the 19th was the last day for Billy Napier. His who was once time a part of now ESPN broadcaster legendary coach Nick Saban's staff in 2015. Napier's buyout at Florida was worth 21 million. Apparently in Florida, his record hasn't been all that great.
Nah. Just
And
shy of 50%.
low shy of 50%. And apparently in the swamp, I think what not apparently. The two most successful head coaches of our generation were very sadly Urban Crybaby, aka Urban Meyer, and
Yep.
Steve Spurrier, who's
Yep.
now retired. One is just retired, enjoying his retirement at his 80s, and the other works for Fox Broadcasting. So, remind me, what was Napier's total record and why exactly did Florida get ticked at him?
Oh, I think it ended up being 22-23 with the win the Saturday night.
And obviously he couldn't win big games, correct?
More or less. I mean, heck, this season he lost to South Florida out of all teams.
Now what we're going to discuss in this is the three big names that I wrote down specifically for today, in addition to the other slew of names, have all been disappointing to say the least. And it's not the buyouts, but it's also the conferences they're in. the SEC and also the timing, which is the funniest, because in the middle of the season, my question is, why would you not let a head coach stay for the whole season and then fire him? Why buy him out in the middle of the season?
Why now? Great question. Well, it's kind of like cut your losses because either way, hey, um, we you gotta pay them anyways. So why not just cut them loose early and
We've
get
seen
someone
several
new?
schools do this historically, and I
You
understand
have.
because they think the current head coach is either one, too toxic to the players. This is a LinkedIn reference, by the way. Wow, the
Hmm.
coach is toxic. We need to get rid of him. We're not responding to him. Wow. But yet, when I look at USC as an example, when USC did that on two different occasions, as referred to by now ESPN commentator and broadcaster Max Brown, who's about early 30s, if I remember correctly. He talked about in his playing experiences, how he literally played with a interim coach for basically his whole career at USC.
Yeah.
Is that the AD just being impatient? Or do you really think it's like in the middle of the season, why buy somebody out just to promote somebody else only to hire a new coaching staff? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I guess when you look at it from the top down perspective, like we are, because we're not in these organizations, obviously. Um, it doesn't look like it makes sense, but remember, these athletic directors have a boss.
Well,
You
yes, they
know,
have to answer to boosters, and I understand that. Like, for
boosters and
example,
Nil and all and the fans.
I'll give a
And
justified one. I think Mike Norville was completely justified because let's
oh
be
yes, yeah,
honest.
Mike
He
Norvell
just
is
sucked.
he just bombed it. Too many big games lost.
Well,
I
not too
mean,
many big games lost. He started out last year frigging terrible.
well, yes,
The first
absolutely
game
terrible.
overseas where they just got completely shut out by your favorite team, Georgia
Ah,
Tech.
Tech, now that was great. That made
Oh,
me
you were
happy.
laughing about that for at least 2 weeks. So his
Absolutely.
63 million buyout, I get it. They'll be on hook to pay him for how long was that deal?
Oh, how long was it? Was it a 4 year contract? 5 year contract?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
The
long.
Because it's funny because Paul Finbaum is already criticizing Signetti's new extension because Indiana's that good now. And as much as I understand, giving them the big money extensions now. Look what just happened. James Franklin deserved that extension last year because he'd been with Penn State for 12 years. He brought them from what I consider what you and I remember at the end of our young adult year, at the end of the 2000s. Remember the huge scandal with creepy Jerry Sandusky, who was the end of Joe Pod's
Yeah.
literal life.
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah, because I think Paterno secretly knew subconsciously he enabled Sandusky and shouldn't have done that back in the 1990s.
Yeah.
It was a shame to watch Joe Pa just pass away like that because he was a legend at Penn State, but at the same time, you kind of screwed yourself with that one. So when Franklin came, what Penn State did before Franklin is they tried their luck with an NFL coach who's now at Boston College by the name of Bill O'Brien,
Mm-hmm.
which seemed to be okay for 1 or 2 years, but then he decided to leave and go back to the NFL because he wanted to take the Houston job.
Sure.
So Penn State hires James Franklin when they're basically at the bottom at that stage. Franklin gives them now 12 years where he literally brings them from the abyss
Yeah.
into decently respectable to the CFB playoffs.
Yeah.
He comes last year within one game of he came within a few plays of potentially beating Notre Dame. Notre Dame beats him to go to the final.
Yeah,
So I can understand maybe Penn State's literal, literal theory on why you would, want to get rid of why you would want to get rid of Franklin now because he loses big games and you don't think the players are responding. But then at the same time, it kind of doesn't send the best message.
no, it doesn't.
It
And
basically tells the players now that they have to get used to probably two different head coaches, whoever the interim head coach is going to be.
yeah,
And after the interim head coach, they're going to have a new head coach for whatever players are left. So it
right.
sucks to be the players on some level.
Absolutely. It's bad for the players. I don't think it's even good for the fans. You
No,
know,
because now you start the rumor mill of who's going to be linked to which job. Like, for example,
it's
Kiffin's
all
already
about
being
that.
linked to Florida just because he's been at a couple
Jeez.
SEC schools. It's like I don't think Kiffin wants to necessarily leave at this stage in his life.
Yeah. And like as soon as there's a firing, rumor mills were starting. And speaking of firing, Oregon State, I mean, they just fired Brent
Okay, Oregon
Trey.
State having no
But
conference this year and then having to
they just,
basically fill the schedule with everybody.
yeah, well, that's this, the Oregon State's like Wasu. They're in a weird spot right now. So I understand why they're not having such a great season. But at the same time, man, oh man, they just absolutely not playing ball right now. In fact, they just got their first win this past Saturday. So now they're like what, 1-7?
1-7. Yeah, something
Yeah,
like that. I mean, you told me I was sort of falling asleep on Friday. I didn't even realize Miami was playing a night game, and now their
yeah,
their borrowed quarterback for 1 year, Carson Beck, threw four interceptions in one game.
yeah, that wasn't good.
What was he just gunslinging from the game's perspective?
No, I think I think Carson Beck just wasn't correctly reading the defense. Honestly, I think the
Remind
defense
me, who
just
did
kind of
Miami play
just.
on Friday?
Oh man, let me double check this. Let me double check this.
Hold on.
Oh, who did they play? My memory is so short term with this stuff. Let me see here. Scores. Ah, two. That was
They played
Tuesday.
Louisville.
Louisville. Yes, Louisville. Yes. Now that was, yeah. Miami kind of messed up there. Yeah, they
Well,
just kind of messed up.
you want my honest opinion? Because I was watching LSU Vanderbilt before I get to their head coach who left
Oh
Notre
yeah.
Dame because he wanted to be at an SEC school. Vanderbilt
Hmm.
actually looks like the real deal this year.
Oh my goodness, Vandy. Keep pimping, my friend.
That coach at Vanderbilt, I don't
No,
think he'll be part of a coaching carousel now, but I
no.
think if they can have I think if they can go, let's say they get to 10, 11 wins, he might be on the radar for next year, but if he duplicates that season again, then I could see him getting hired somewhere.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, Commodores are 6-1. I mean, wow. I mean, who thought?
LSU, I would say LSU is a big disappointment, but I think at this point in his life, the coach Brian Kelly, who came from Notre Dame, I think he's lost it at this point.
Who might have?
And the expectations are higher for you when you go to an SEC school, let
Oh
alone LSU,
yes.
given the fact that they had three head coaches within the
Yep.
last 25 years who all went to national championships.
Yep.
Nick Saban, Les Miles,
Hmm.
and what the hell's the guy's name? Ed Orgeron.
Mhm.
Coach O, the line coach. It's interesting because now Brian Kelly comes in after making the playoffs, but apparently that's not good enough for LSU. And this is in
Nope.
the SEC, and he wanted to be in the SEC.
Wow, yeah, step it up, son. You're not on the island anymore.
Now,
And
for the whole weekend, what was your impression of Michigan's game against Washington, where they basically had to come back?
uh, you know, Michigan, Michigan did pretty good. Um, they made some plays. They had a couple of good INTs, and I mean, they just kind of, got down to business in the second half.
Yeah, but they should you shouldn't be I'm not going to say it's not capable of happening. I don't know if they were playing down to their actual opponent, but I can say I can definitely say that they got to be careful.
Oh yes, oh yes, they
Especially
definitely
when you
gotta be
want to go
careful.
play your favorite your rival Ohio Soft State University. You cannot be playing down to them.
No, no, not at all. And you know, Michigan's in an odd spot too with a new quarterback and
Bryce
just in
Underwood, but
general.
Bryce Underwood definitely, in my opinion, from my view, from just watching him for some of the games this year, Bryce Underwood looks good. I'm sorry.
Oh, he does. He looks pretty damn good actually. But and so it's just a matter of Michigan cleaning things up.
Well,
You
yeah,
know,
because we only
they're making the
have how
big
many more weeks
plays.
before the big game?
Oh, jeez.
We only have another month and a half, really, before
Yeah, so that's
our
about
second to
what?
last special,
So
which is going
like,
to be our favorite game this year.
was it week 9, 10, 11? So maybe another 2 or 3 games before the big game.
Yeah.
So, but then again, I mean, Sharon Moore, he did it twice in a row so far. So, you know, and he did it in the horseshoe. So I, we don't know what Sharon Moore has cooking up.
Nope. And our next one. Franklin, I found rather interesting because in his contract, there was a weird provision that basically says, we'll give you your payout, but you have to get you have to get one of either two types of jobs, another coaching job or a job in the studio,
Yeah. And your pay is offset depending on how much it pays.
which is very weird provision. Like, was that his
It is,
agent or was that Penn State?
I'm thinking that's Penn State protecting their asses. That's just me.
Except he was their most successful head coach.
I, I mean, you know what? I mean, that's true, but wait, so
They're a business at the end of the day.
yeah, they're business so it's more like a contract extension rather than the main contract.
I mean, I
You,
feel like,
I,
especially with Signetti and some of these other coaches, I
yeah.
have noticed this, especially as an adult from a kid, and I didn't think about it much when we were younger. I feel like what these coaches are all trying to do in these extensions is make it a little harder to get to the fact that they probably are looking for jobs. I mean,
Just
if
like everyone else.
yeah, no, and I understand, but you know who the most serial of job hopping coaches ever was? Bobby Petrino,
Yep.
the king of having your resume in the back of your pocket and only staying at a school maybe what, like 2 to 3 years.
Yeah. That can be an advantage and a disadvantage. But you know what?
It
Hey,
depends. For
some
me, it
coaches are
honestly, I don't mind.
specialists.
Listen, everyone is loyal to the dollar. I completely get it. But
Well,
while
yes.
all these coaches were going around on carousels, explain to me why Nick Saban stayed in one place since 2008.
Well, I mean, you know what? He loved football. He loved the team. He loved everything what Bama was about. That's pretty much it, you know? I mean, when you got a guy that just love Bama football, love how everything runs, the system is there, everything's there. You know, it's just a matter of who, it's very easy to just to throw a few more 10,000s of dollars
Or to make the
into the
guy a
mix.
millionaire.
Yeah, just make him a millionaire and he'll stay and he's gonna have a good time, raise his children, which is what he did. And yeah, I mean that's the easy way for it to stay, for him to stay. Plus, until recently, there was no portal, so guys would come and play for him and stay
Right,
for
but he
him.
could he could conveniently figure out how to manipulate them into coming there without an issue until Nil started.
Well, yes. Well, back then, I mean, you gotta get a little creative, as they
Yeah,
say.
because you weren't allowed to actually you shell out the money.
Nope.
And now I think
Now it's money. That's
it's
all
going
it
to come
is.
to our most important topic. How do you feel about Arch?
You know what? Arch Manning, he'll be fine, but he has a lot of growing up to do.
So here's how I see Arch. Before I get to the media, I think if you look at the whole Manning family, which started with Archie Senior, that was our parents' generation.
Hmm.
Peyton wasn't technically our generation, nor was Cooper. That was Gen X. Eli's
Hmm.
considered our generation. But anyway, we watched Peyton in the NFL growing up, so it was kind of like an extension of a millennial. Anyway,
Sure.
Peyton was hands down a great college quarterback. I remember watching him from 96 to when he got drafted in 98.
Hmm.
He was great back then. I watching Eli was a treat. Early when we were just getting into and out of high school. You know,
Hmm.
and then it was great to watch both those NFL careers unfold until 2015 and then 2019. And now they're both out of the NFL and enjoying time in the media.
Yeah.
Arch, I agree with you. Arch will be a good college. Arch will definitely be a good college quarterback, but a couple of things. They're hyping him they're hyping him like he's a generational talent. He's not generational.
Mm. Yeah, I would lean toward not generational.
I wouldn't even call him generational. I would say work in progress.
That's yes.
This is someone who sat behind Quinn Ewers, who's now in the NFL for 2 years, who
Yeah.
needs a whole year of game film to at least learn from, and then we see what his next 2 seasons are. Yet the NFL scouts are already talking about him like he's going to go make the jump to the NFL. The kid doesn't need to
Yeah.
go to the NFL, in all
No.
honesty, unless he really thinks he
He
wants
needs to
to.
go. He needs to stay in college, develop his four,
Yeah, but think
5
about it.
years.
I have my friend up in Massachusetts who I'm like, the kid's already born to a millionaire family. He doesn't need the money.
Exactly.
And
So
he's getting paid in college.
right, he's fine. So it's not about the money. He just needs to
There was something that I came
ground
across, and I
himself.
don't think I showed it to you, but it definitely resonates and is applicable here. Cam Newton
Mhm.
has his own podcast. Cam Newton actually said as follows for Arch. Arch went to Texas to play for Steve Sarkisian so he could develop as a man.
Fair enough.
So basically, you don't want to rush the kid into the NFL just because of his name. And Cam Newton even said if he didn't spend the whole first year of his college years redshirting with Tim Tebow as the starter, it's doubtful he would have developed when he went to Blinn Junior College and then he went to Auburn for the 1 year.
Yep.
Although
Development's key.
what's really interestingly funny is Auburn sucks now.
What about them Tigers?
And we probably know Auburn is gonna lose to Roll Tide again because honestly, right
Oh
now,
boy, we don't know what's happening in the SEC. It's all effed up now.
why?
Vandy's pimping,
Because
Vandy's pimping out. You know,
I think the SEC is gonna start coming up for grabs now with Vandy actually being good.
yeah, man, that's a treat, man.
Because we watched Alabama, who was good for a whole decade. Everyone was getting tired of them, and now
Yep,
they suck.
yep.
Or now
Oh
they're
yeah.
not that good.
So Florida State beat Bama the year before. Vandy beat Bama. Man, it's like who didn't beat Bama? But you know what? I'm gonna be very honest with you, and this is way back when Michigan had a similar issue at one point too.
Which year
That
was it?
oh man, it was at least it might have been like 10 years ago. Like between
So
8 and 10 years ago. Like they were like
after they
Michigan
lost
was
Chad
so
Henne and Mike
good.
Hart,
I'm not sure who was with who, but like there was a
so
point when they were really Michigan was just lights out really good. And then one day Appalachian State beat them. Toledo beat them.
that was
And
Coach Lloyd
maybe
Carr when when you were probably in college and I was just finishing high school.
something like that, yeah. And oh my goodness, you know, I don't know what to say about that, knowing that has happened. And then I'm
That
seeing the
was
same
2000. What?
parallels.
Okay, let's try it like this. That Michigan game was 2007. That was the 2007 season. If I
Oh
remember
yeah.
correctly,
I was finishing up. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
go
right.
ahead.
No, I was saying I was finishing up college. That's right. Yeah, that was a weird season.
You were just finishing up college because Chad Henne went. That was Chad Henne's senior year. Chad Henne was born in
Yep.
85, just like me. Mike Hart
Yeah.
was also 1985.
Yep.
Or 19. No, Mike Hart was 86. I think he left early for the draft or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know he was just coaching recently. Let me try to remember. No, Mike Hart was the year after. So, no, Mike Hart left. Mike Hart left after the 2007 season. He would have been a junior. But anyway, Henny was in his senior year. Henny's my age. Hart was a year under me, and you were just finishing up college. So, yes, Lloyd Carr, that was Lloyd Carr's
Look,
last
oh
year
yeah.
when they lost to Appalachian State.
Yep. Yep. And you knew, and I think the following year they Toledo beat them or something like that. It was a weird couple seasons. But this the reason why I made this parallel today is because that's exactly what happened at Bama.
Yes,
Think,
because it's funny when I'm looking at Lloyd Carr's record, he was always consistently 9-4, 8-4, 12-0, 10-3, 10-2,
yep,
9-3, 8-4, 10-3, 10-3, 9-3, 7-5. The year before Appalachian State, he was 11-2.
yep,
The season with Appalachian State, he finishes 9-4 with a win in the Capital One Bowl, but I think they had an interim coach that year. But I
yeah,
think Michigan pushed him into retirement because Brady Hoke followed him afterwards, and Brady Hoke wasn't that great. Then it was Rich
yeah,
Rodriguez.
yep.
Then came our favorite coach who decided to split after his perfect season.
Yep. But it's Yeah, so the reason why I want to make that comparison is because if you look at Michigan today, they don't look so great as they did before. And it's kind of like the same thing with Bama today, too. Like, all of a sudden, Bama's lost their luster. They got a new coach, and boom, it's like, what happened? But this time, in this era, everybody's getting good players now. So now you have Vandy pimping out. And of course, as of speaking, Georgia Tech, those yellow jackets, they're kicking butt. They're now perfect. What, 7-0?
Yeah,
First in the ACC? What? How does that work?
yeah. They
Rambling wreck. Bunch of
have they
engineers.
played Miami?
Oh, they're not gonna play Miami this year. Ah,
Why
that's the
the same
beautiful.
conference?
It's funny how the ACC works. They don't. Not everybody plays everybody. So Georgia Tech's gonna has the best chance of pretty much going to the title game, because they don't play Miami. They don't play. There's another team that they don't play that can annihilate them. So
Yeah,
you got that. So you got that going on. So it's not like in the SEC where pretty much everybody plays everybody. ACC is not like that. So yeah, go Tech, go Jackets. They got the schedule. They pretty much can more or less coast at this point. They're perfect. Although I'm gonna say the Wake Forest game was scary because they got yeah, they got away with one. But overall, I mean, Tech just played good football,
no,
methodical
they did
football.
play fantastic football. Now,
Yeah.
I think for our last segment today in the follow-up,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna play a fun segment for what I think the am I even right about this? Okay, so if we started the playoffs today,
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State would definitely be the first team in just because of
Definitely.
the perfect record right now.
Yeah.
Miami would still go in probably at number two, even with the one loss. Indiana is doing
Yeah.
amazing right now.
Oh, Indiana, those Hoosiers. That's another one.
Well, that's a basketball school now who's got a good football team.
Finally. Been a while.
Oh yeah. And Texas A&M would go ranked in at number four. So,
Yeah.
as far as our early predictions, who do you think would go in to the rest of the if the bracket started today? Who would you see? Where would you see Vanderbilt?
Vandy. I would see Vandy at number. I can't think. Not. It's not gonna be fifth. I would say Vandy can possibly be number six.
I believe just because of the fact that they really frigging improved and got some good players in the transfer portal, from what it
Hmm.
looks like, I can definitely see I can definitely see them getting in towards the end of the year since they didn't last year. I don't know if I
No.
see Alabama, yet their entire fan base is calling for an
I
expanded playoff.
don't listen to Bama fans.
We
Just
know
don't.
Bama fans already had their time. Can they just go away and stop crying?
Take a seat, Bama. It's been a fun ride.
I mean, we got to get off the crying, Alabama. Come on, guys. So look
Do
at it like
better.
this is a fun scenario. So if the playoffs happen today, number one is Ohio State, number two is Indiana, number three is Texas A&M, number four Alabama, number five Georgia, six Miami, seven Oregon, eight Mississippi, nine Vandy, 10 Georgia Tech, 11 South Texas Tech, and 12 South Florida. in the first round of the playoffs, it would go as follows. This is if it were to happen today. South Florida at Georgia, Texas Tech at Miami, Georgia Tech at number 7, Oregon, number 9, Vanderbilt at number 8, Mississippi. The quarterfinals would go Alabama versus the winner of South Florida at Georgia. Then you'd have Texas A&M versus Texas Tech or Miami, Indiana versus Georgia Tech or Oregon, and last but not least, Ohio State versus Vanderbilt or Mississippi. Would be an interesting playoff, that's for sure. And then the prediction here is South Florida at Georgia. So apparently Georgia's still making it in, meaning this is from SI and they're predicting more
Yeah.
SEC teams yet again. Like, can we get over this conference?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that Vandy. Did they say Vandy's gonna make it?
Yes, they have. Hold on.
Oh,
Did
good.
Yeah, they had
That's good.
Vanderbilt at number 9.
Okay. Okay. So they're not being snubbed. Yeah, I mean that's interesting. SEC, that's why I don't know why. Maybe the straight to schedule.
I think it's because top to bottom, supposedly they like to argue that the SEC has the best teams. I think it's because they have all they can recruit each other's states in the best part of the country, which is the South. That doesn't
That's
necessarily
very
mean
true.
that they deserve to have like 5, 6 schools in there because there are so many better schools who come in with much better
Yes.
records.
This I agree with, and I do not understand why this is the
Because somewhere
case.
along the line, I'm not trying to play conspiracy theory, but somewhere along the line, I feel like the SEC is bribing people.
Who knows? I'll be very honest with you, Big Ten and SEC. I mean, that's like 80% of the market there. Like, shoot.
All
And then
right.
after that, it's the ACC.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then after that, it's just who's left.
So, interestingly enough, I think our last thing for tonight is basically going to be who are the Heisman candidates this year. Basically, the quarterback from Indiana who looks good so far, Fernando
Hmm.
Mendoza, Carson Beck, and Ty Simpson. Apparently, they had to put 2 people from Ohio Soft State University on this notable candidates list, and then
Why?
Texas A&M's Marcel Reed.
I'm surprised Keen's Keen isn't on there, but oh well.
Say that again.
Haynes Keen
I don't think
for Georgia
Carson Beck
Tech.
helped himself with 4 interceptions, but we'll see how he comes
Nah.
back for the remainder of the season, from the 4 interceptions, because that might hurt him.
Yeah. Yeah, Haynes Keen. I'm surprised they're not giving him something. I mean,
Which
this
player?
guy, Haynes Keen from Georgia Tech. I mean, this guy's a beast, man. He runs. I mean, he's running, he's throwing, he's doing everything. But hey, I'm nobody.
Oh, Haynes King. Well, you can hype him. I don't have an issue with that
I'm not
because
trying to
I
hype
have
him. I'm just
watched a
saying,
few
hey,
games of him and I agree with you. I think he's fantastic. He has the highest rating right now, but you know that the ESPN and all the sports networks are biased to a couple conferences that they love.
of
I'd have to
course,
go
we
into
know
this in a
that.
complete another episode maybe this year or like at the end of the year, but the media, especially the sports media, has so many biases towards certain conferences, it's kind of sickening.
It really is. And but at the same time, we have new media that's covering the other stuff as well. So it's a little bit better in an odd sort of way.
That I agree with. So I think that's all from our end for tonight. We will definitely see you guys in a couple more weeks next month, at the end of next month, because the big game.
You mean big games? There's gonna be a lot of them coming up.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be a fiesta of big games.
Yep. All right, guys. We will see you next month for the semi-season wrap up. Unless he and I schedule another one. We hope you enjoyed tonight, and we'll see you at the next one.
See y'all later.
All right.